This is World Comics Review, and remember this book which I bought in the Kyoto Manga Museum many months ago. Well, it turns out it's actually the book accompanying an exhibition. So this is the Giga Manga exhibition, which I suppose was on in the Kyoto Manga Museum at some point before I went, and this was just old stock they had. So anyway, this exhibition is travelling and must have gone through Osaka, but I missed it there too. So it's now in the Kobe Artists Museum until 4th of July, although apparently that's been changed to the 18th of July. Anyway, I'm having one of my extremely rare days off, and it was my birthday 2 days ago, so I might as well go down there and have a look at it. Also, apparently some of the reviews of the building say it looks like the spaceship from Star Trek Discovery, so let's go and see how accurate that is. And hopefully they'll have a facsimile reprint of this, Osaka Paku Gaidai Manga Nippon. So Osaka Puck renamed Manga Nippon, or Japanese manga, presumably because it was during World War II, and Puck is a character from Shakespeare, so that was obviously Tekiseigo, or enemy language, so yeah, they had to change that. Oh, and this one looks fun too. Well, let's get going. Alright, so this is Osaka Station, and there's the sign. I didn't zoom in properly, so it looks like it's in Korean. And yeah, Osaka Station has a giant roof over the top. Okay, and that, it turned out, is the train I should have got. The Kobe line and the Takarazuka line both share a lot of track and platforms around Osaka, so I'd got on the Takarazuka line by mistake. So here we go, off to Takarazuka, and that track out of the window is the one that goes to Nara. So yeah, I wasted a bit of time having to change trains later. Here we are in Amagasaki, where I missed an express and decided to get a local train. And that's the train I was on. Right, so here I am on the local train, planning to change trains here, wherever this is. I forgot the name of this station, but yeah, I got off the local train to change to the rapid train, but if I'd stayed on the local train, it was only 2 more stops, so I would have got there much earlier. Anyway, I wasted a good 10 minutes standing around here, and finally got to the place I was going. And to get to the museum, I had to ride this kind of a automatic guided train with tyres, a bit like the Docklands Light Railway in London, which is surprisingly fast and extremely bumpy too. Yep, this is going to islands just off the coast of this town next to Kobe, and the museum is on the island. Okay, so this is the museum itself, and yeah, it's supposed to look like the Discovery from Star Trek, but I don't entirely see it. And weirdly enough, these water features around here actually have water in them. All of the water features in Osaka have been filled up or just left to dry out. And this is the entrance to the museum itself, which is, yes, this place is not exactly busy. There was pretty much nobody there. Okay, this is after the exhibition, and yeah, they changed the ending date to the 18th of July. One more look at the saucer section of the spaceship again. And yeah, I went looking for a second-hand bookshop at Rokomichi, which is even closer to Kobe, but that shop didn't have much in it. Well, that was an entertaining way to spend the day off, I suppose. So yeah, here's the poster of the exhibition, and now I've got a bit more context for the book. So the first part of the exhibition is the kind of a pre-opening up Edo period Giga, a kind of a satirical caricatures and other things, and yeah, each little style of a manga or Giga all had its own name. So these ones are like based on letters, these ones have many panels, these ones are also based on single letters. So silhouette style was inspired by a French art prints which started arriving in Japan at the time. This is silhouettes of famous actors as they'd appear on a screen. And people used to make shadow puppets in their houses which were lit by candles and had the thin paper screens between rooms, so it was easy to put on shadow puppet shows. These are pictures made of people and so on, and all of these different styles all had their own names. And there's one genre. Oh yeah, the memorial pictures for when a famous actor died. There'd be pictures of the actor as memorials, and this actor died, and loads of female fans are really sad and were buying his pictures, and this is like a memorial picture to the memorial picture, kind of a satire of the cult of celebrity that was built up around him. Here's the catfish which causes earthquakes. So there was a big earthquake in 1855, and lots of pictures appeared of people punishing the catfish that was underneath Japan, and apparently it would shake around because of a bad government. And around that time the Tokugawa shogunate was trying to do some reforms to stimulate the economy and caused a recession instead. This was from an epidemic of measles. They were driving out measles. Some comic strip like panel cartoons. Here's Hakusai Manga, the first thing to be called a manga. At the time it literally did mean random sketches, and it was kind of like an art tutorial book for his followers, but it kind of was so popular with just anybody that it ran to 15 volumes in the end, I think, and the last 2 or 3 came out after he died. Let's carry more of these pre-Commodore Perry pictures. Oh, this is Western ideas first started arriving in Japan. Here's a perspective to show depth in the pictures. There was a series of famous views of Edo made by a famous ukiyo-e artist, and one of his proteges or followers, after Edo was renamed Tokyo, made a series of something like 53 comedy views of Tokyo. So there's a kid spraying somebody with water as he walks past and things. This was from a popular book with a different satire of different things in society. He's a stable hand who dresses himself in fine clothes and everyone finds it funny. Something about water running off a frog's face, which is like the Japanese version of water off a duck's back. I think this is because some other political reforms are happening, and the frog represents the people in charge, and these are the citizens petitioning him not to make these political changes, but he's just ignoring them. Many pages from this book. I think it had 100 pages. It's like 100 comedy views or something, or 100 comments on society, something like that. And yeah, this is when Japan opened up to Western ideas. It's got perspective in the drawing. Looks at Western customs coming into Japan, like Western style restaurants with tables. And comic strips, recognisably comics. Unless you're Steve Jeppy, of course, then they're only pseudo comics because they weren't distributed by Diamond. This is the Japan Punch, and they've actually got the first issue of Japan Punch in the exhibition. It's surprisingly big actually. It's like around the modern B4 size, and extremely thin paper. You can actually see the next page through it in person. And yeah, it's based on Punch in England, which was based on the character of Punch from Punch and Judy. And some Westerners in Yokohama put out the Japan Punch, and that led to the caricature type of art being called Ponchi-e in Japan. And this is the Maru Maru Shimbun, which is like a Japanese. Oh, this is yeah, this is Punch of Japan or something, which is actually made by Japanese people. That's one of the cartoons from it. And this is a Maru Maru Shimbun, which is also made by Japanese people. I think with some Western influence, and it uses modernized, westernized printing techniques. And I've actually seen copies of this for sale, but I didn't know what it was, so I have to go and buy them now. And these are some cartoons from the Maru Maru Shimbun, which have English captions underneath. This is a junior clerk in the government being worked to the bone. These are the people turning the machinery in his eyes. There's people on a train making comments about an upcoming government reform. It's a Kibidango, which is a heavily comic strip or like caricature focused supplement which came with the Maru Maru Shimbun. Here's a Toba-e or Tobae, but yeah, after the Japan opened up to the world, all of the different styles of caricature and comic strips started to be something at the end, and this is one made by the French community in Japan, Toba-e. And here's some cartoons out of Toba-e with captions in French. This is let me try and remember, Tsuki to Spanchi. Tsuki to Spanchi, so another ponche punch style thing, and Tsuki means moon, so I guess maybe it's monthly punch or something. This is something I've forgotten, but it was a heavily comic focused publication. It's called like Kimi or something. It's like a Japanifying of the word comical. And yeah, this is these nice colour covers and various cartoons and jokes and stuff inside. Here's a Tokyo Puck. So Puck was the American version of Punch, and then there was also a Japanese version of the American version of Punch, started up in Japan, called Tokyo Puck. And this is this is from 1906, but it's kind of unintentionally looks like a satire of television or early video games. But yeah, it's actually from 1906. And they had this this actual cartoon on display as it was printed, and it's really big, like a tabloid newspaper size. And some of these publications are bigger than you'd think they are. They were like a little bit bigger than A4, I guess closer to B4, but a little smaller. It's a cover of Tokyo Puck. I actually had this folded up in the exhibition, so you could only see the front cover. It's like different characters you see around Japan. Another Tokyo Puck. And as I said at the beginning of this video, this is Ponchi. These are comic books, I guess you'd say, like a landscape format, like the Chinese Lian Huan Hua. This is about the Russo-Japanese War, recognisably a comic strip with these colourful covers. So this was a Victory in War Ponchi. This is a Hai Kara Ponchi, and Hai Kara is I think was a slang term for Western ideas or something. This comic strip about the Russo-Japanese War. Another Ponchi. These were books aimed at children. This one was called A Year in Manga, so it's like a picture and some text for each page showing someone's life through a year. So yeah, it's called A Year in Manga. There was another one called A Life in Manga. More, this is a Tokyo Puck, a more Japanified title now, as Japan got more nationalist. And yeah, as we go further on into World War II, I want to get this section over with because I've already been through this book once before and spent about half an hour looking at it. This was something like the patriotic women's manga, and as it got into World War II, they started to make children's literature more worthy. So this is a educational manga teaching about science and stuff, or increasing national prestige was what they used. This was a manga of great battles, talking about the battles Japan had won in World War II. This is Norakura, which is well known. Tank Tankura, this what's he called? Somebody Chan, like a African colonizer from Japan, who goes to one of the British African territories and takes control of a tribe and makes himself the king. And yeah, as I said at the beginning of the video, I can't find it now. Is that the classic? This woman's wearing the classic. There's a bit of Christery for you. Yeah, the Osaka puck was renamed to a Manga Nippon. Can't find it now. It's on the poster. Yeah, here we are. Osaka puck renamed Manga Nippon. And Osaka puck continued until 1946, and then went bankrupt, or was just stopped for having been a propaganda publication during the war. Maybe it was stopped because of that. Well, that didn't hurt Shonen Kalabu, that came back not long after. So yeah, anyway, after I went to the exhibition, I did of course go to the gift shop, and I got this. So this is a furishiki, or a wrapping cloth, but I'm probably gonna be a philistine and use it as a curtain. And it's the 56 stations of the Tokaido depicted as cats. So the Tokaido is now the name of the railway line that goes to the Kansai region, but I guess at the time it was the name of a road. So this is Nipponbashi, which is now a district inside Osaka, but I guess if you were going from Kyoto through Osaka to Nara, to Kobe even, then you pass through Nipponbashi. So yep, and I believe this is Osaka itself, although the second kanji is a more complicated, now obsolete or simplified one. And I know it's Osaka because the cat is eating an octopus, and people in Osaka love takoyaki, which has octopus inside. Might eat some tonight actually. Right, so that's my wrapping cloth, the 56 cats, and also more. This is a clear file, which is a common way of holding papers in Japan. So you just slip A4 papers in here, and this is a picture from Hakusai, and you may have noticed a addition. So this is a Hakusai X Snoopy, which is possibly cause some noses to be put out of joint in some quarters, but never mind. And also I bought this. So this is 3 volumes of Hakusai Manga, not exact facsimiles of the original books, of course. It's selections from Hakusai Manga, I guess. So first is the life and manners of the day, the whole Earth catalogue, which is different animals. So this is an anteater, and fanciful, mythical and supernatural. So these are reproductions of pictures from Hakusai Manga, about half the size of the originals, I'd say. They had original Hakusai Manga books in the exhibition. So yes, this is not a good example. Yeah, Hakusai Manga started out as the customs and manners of everyday life, so people fighting, people sitting around in an izakaya, a boozer basically, people in the fields, just people in different poses. So this is for different faces. These are all for Hakusai's proteges and people to copy and learn how to draw from copying. And then animals, so people could use this. This is what they thought an elephant looked like in Japan at the time. This is actually a famous story in Japanese culture, and probably other cultures around East Asia, of different blind men feel different parts of an elephant and make decisions based upon what it is. So if you can't see the whole picture of a situation, you might misinterpret what it is. Different animals, so once again, to function, different birds, So it functioned as an art tutorial book, but yeah, turned into more sort of general pictures as well, just art for art's sake, pictures that tell stories or have satire of society. And there was even some multi-panel comic strips in Hakusai. It's Mount Fuji, a bridge, different rocks and stuff, so yeah. Was meant to be an art tutorial book, became a sort of artistic popular culture phenomenon. Here's I guess a multi-panel story of sorts. A yon coma, which is still the name used for newspaper gag strips today. So yes, a slipcase of Hakusai Manga. Back when I lived in the UK, I actually had a gigantic coffee table book of Hakusai Manga, but I sold it because it was huge and taking up space. This little slipcased version now to look at when I fancy it. Yeah, that was the stuff from the gift shop of the Giga Manga exhibition. So even though I've got the books and the other book I mentioned in another video, still learned a fair bit about the early development of what became manga.